Well, there you go. First general meeting. Sorry, last week we had a room mix up. We were supposed to be in 204, but then I guess the classes switched their last minute and we were not informed. So, new general meeting. There you go. We can do icebreaker or not. I don't really care either way. We have this on here every semester, but every semester we don't do it.
You guys want to talk to each other or skip?
Yeah, we'll just skip it.
Yeah.
No one likes doing icebreakers.
Elevator pitches.
Elevator pitches are different. Those are
That'd be
different.
interesting.
That has value. Icebreakers have no value, and it's just awkward for everyone involved. Why join ASME? It looks great on your resume, especially if you become an officer. We have positions opening, or if it's just not opening, you just want to run against somebody and potentially get a position. We can actually have a real democracy because every year people go unrun against. So if you want to run against somebody and potentially beat them up, here's your chance to look good. Like, hey, I beat so and so on your resume.
For this semester?
Next semester.
Next semester. It's too late.
This semester too. If you want to become an officer this semester, still valid, but you won't be an official officer. You should be kind of like a kind of pseudo officer, just not official.
That's so good.
You're not elected. You're just kind of like there helping. ASME International. This one has a lot of stuff. You can do scholarships. They have lots of workshops, webinars, professional speakers, student competitions, volunteer opportunities, a lot of stuff for I think it's $25 a year, and it's free for your first year. I don't know how they check it. You could probably lie. Well, there you go. Membership is free. You also get a magazine with the top mechanical engineering shenanigans that they do. Also, they post job opportunities on them too. Companies like I think Google are on there. They take priority for ASME members, and then they'll go on to regular candidates for a certain title that they put on there. So could be a good mostly internships. They don't do many full times. Mostly internships. So if you're interested in internships, you should definitely become a national member. Here's some of our roles available: a VP, treasurer, internal relations, historian, secretary, projects coordinator, social media officer. If you're interested in what those maybe entail, we can elaborate. Yeah.
So Professor Ganji, the one who teaches thermodynamics, he runs the Industrial Assessment Center, where they go to different buildings, companies, and do an energy evaluation. And he was just telling me that there's positions open if you're interested in going into the energy field. Yeah, he wants to have completed thermodynamics, and he told me women are encouraged to apply, and it's paid, and there are also flexible hours. So later down the road, if you take thermodynamics and you're like, this is pretty cool, then you can ask Professor Ganji to help you with that internship opportunity.
Yeah, energy auditing is pretty. If you like Fermo stuff, I mean, people that have taken Fermo, if you're interested in that, or heat transfer or thermal power for taking that, this is super cool.
Is it just in the summer or is it year-round?
It's during school, during the breaks. Yeah. So he takes the students to the companies. And yeah, you just do an evaluation. Like another student was telling me that she went to a winery to do an evaluation.
Yeah, because Ganji does he does energy audits as a second job, and he'll take students to do it with them. I mean, you won't be doing. I mean, obviously, he'll be doing the main energy auditing, but you'll do it on intern. You just learn how to do energy auditing alongside of. You'll check it. It's a good learning experience if you're interested. Also, even if you're not particularly interested in energy auditing, could be a so good internship opportunity that you can put in your resume. Here's some past events: Exploratorium, CAD workshops, so far engineering pathways, of professional headshots. Actually, we have that tomorrow. and Thursday. If you're interested in getting your professional headshots, as in by me and of course over here, we'll be just taking your pictures, amateur headshots, for your LinkedIn handshake. If you feel inclined to put your picture on your resume for some reason, boom, for you. Here's some upcoming events. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, I think the day
Oh yeah.
good.
It's
Put it on the bottom one, but
yeah. It's the
the
21st.
top one.
Not the change.
We either 12:30 to 3 ish. I mean, if nobody shows up, we'll always leave early. If you're gonna show up like at 3, make sure you let us know. We'll re-put this in the Discord probably at 12:30. That if you're gonna show up like later, make sure you let us know, because if it's like 2:30 and we haven't had anyone since like 2, we'll probably just like leave. So like, I know we should just head home for the day and show up tomorrow. So just keep that in mind. We also have well, there you go. Oceanside Water Pollution Plant Tour. Well, and one of their engineers guiding us through their treatment plant. It's over here by the zoo. You know where the zoo is. The SF Zoo. There's a water treatment plant right behind it. It's covered in grass and walls, very hidden, but it's there. We only can take 10 students, so if you're interested, sign up now. What is that? March 11th is a Monday, right?
Yeah.
It's
Monday.
Monday at 11:30. Yeah.
As
So
long as that's one.
I feel like it should be like maybe an hour,
Maybe
15:30.
an hour or two. I would say 2 hours at most. I mean, you can obviously leave early if you need to, but we're gonna try going there as a group and coming back as a group. But if you need to come there a little bit later, let us know so we can come back and pick you up, continue the tour. If you need to leave early for any reason, that's fine. If you have class, obviously. I mean, I have class that same day, but all the way at 5, so I'll be fine. Yeah, we have MathWorks and a Fusion 360 again. They're coming back, except for Fusion, it's gonna be online. Unfortunately, they had budget cuts. They said we Steam Connect. So they're gonna be online. They're gonna be doing simulation this time. Got lots of requests for Fusion 360 simulations. So we're asking them to kind of go over their simulations. For MathWorks, they're doing preventative maintenance within MathWorks. So I guess they have some kind of preventative maintenance. I don't know how, but they're going to teach us. It sounded cool. They're like, "Want to do preventative maintenance?" I'm like, "Hey, preventative maintenance. That's a cool idea. That's a good thing to incorporate in your designs. Make sure it doesn't explode. Be bad." Career fair Friday. Be there. Be square. It's noon to 4. Annex 1. I think 20 something companies are showing up. Couple repeaters, couple not. A lot of actually, I think some organizations will also be tabling there as well. I don't know if we'll be tabling there, but we might. There's Annex. You don't know where it is.
Yeah, so we're like down
By the police
here,
station.
and you can walk like this way across the parking lot or go around here.
The fastest way is probably going right here, that dotted line. Or if you're over here, you're going that way. But it's over there somewhere.
Yeah.
If you know where the preschool is, it's right there. The parking and transportation where you buy your tickets is over there. Police station is over there. Yeah. There's a QR code. If you're not part of our Discord, probably are. Because you're here. But any questions, concerns about upcoming events, any events you'd like to see? Any times that maybe work better than 1 p.m. on a Monday?
I think this time is good for me. Works pretty good.
I'd imagine it probably works since you're here. But also, if you haven't, fill out the when to meet on our Discord so we can plan events easier, because we just kind of guess when people are available. We pretty much base it around our schedules. So, which is not always the most efficient way to do things. But Or when companies want to come, like, hey, we want to come at 11 a.m. Okay. Like for the ocean water, we didn't choose. Did we choose that time?
I mean, I based it on our time.
Yeah, see, we based on our time. So we don't build that one to meet. It's gonna be based on our time, not your time. Because I mean, all of us officers don't have to be there, but at least one of us has to be there. It's mostly for the students.
Yeah.
More students too, but yeah. We're less common students. So yeah, general meeting. Any questions? Or anything?
Are you guys ready for the career fair?
Oh yeah, you got your resumes nice and primed and ready.
Working on mine.
There's lots of resume workshops happening around. Different organizations are doing them. That's why we're not doing them, because other organizations are doing them. It's kind of repetitive. I think ASCE is doing one. Ship is sorry, maybe it was Ship. Ship is having. I saw one for one of them.
What's shit?
Engineers.
Okay.
They're pretty cool.
It's Laura, right there.
In 10 o'clock.
It is their squire. There's also lots of what do you call them? Information meetings. I think Stantec is having an information meeting. If you're interested in them, they're one of the companies in the career fair. They're having an information meeting. So at some point. What's that? February 22nd from 4 to 5. In Hens Hall 803. And Stantec is coming, talking about their company, try to get you interested. If you're interested, I say go. If you're not, then obviously why would you show up?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Well, why show up to an information meeting if you're not? I think they're a construction company. I'm assuming because it's by the civil engineering club. They're probably civil.
But I know they do offer mechanical engineering positions.
Yeah, a lot of these, if you ever go to the career fair and you see a construction company, they usually hire also mechanics for project management because they need you to watch over the HVAC and all that as well. HVAC is mechanical. So don't be like, the career fair is all construction project management. I don't want to do that shenanigans. I'm a mechanical, not a dirty civil.
Actually, you have less competition in this.
Yeah, and there's less competition because a lot of mechanicals don't think those jobs apply to them, so they don't apply to them. So if you're interested, I say go. There's a resume workshop and personal meeting.
It's the same deal with electricals too. They have no idea. And then like sometimes the people, they don't even know either at the career fair. Like, because they send like somebody that's a civil and then I was taking a look at the brochure and helping out there and then like an electrical said, oh, maybe this isn't for me. And then it's like, no, this is for you. They got something here for electricals and mechanics right here.
Yeah, they got one for everything. Because even electricals, they do project management, watch over the subcontractors doing electrical work, making sure they're setting things correctly, and then you do calculations to apply to fix stuff. And, it always applies, even though if you don't think it does, especially mechanical. Mechanical, anything in the career fair will typically apply to you, unless it's like an AI company or something, then it won't apply to you. But for the most part, it'll apply. Unless it's computer science, but there's some computer science companies that show up. Like there's like a grocery company or something. They did like a grocery app or something.
Why keep
What?
CS is a ton of layoffs.
Well, that's why we're not seeing.
Now,
I can never do CS. I hate coding.
taking a class on coding right now.
What class is that?
It's like an introduction.
Oh,
Oh, 103.
Yeah,
Okay.
and
you do MATLAB in that class or?
oh, we actually had a voice thing on that one.
Like,
Yesterday.
you do MATLAB, you do C++, maybe you do Python, maybe?
Yeah, I believe
Okay.
those will be
Okay,
discussing.
that makes sense. I would say MATLAB is probably the hardest one, but
Yes.
Python's, well, I don't know, there's lots of documentation on a lot of these coding things, especially MATLAB, a ton of forums on MATLAB, so lots of help out there, you just gotta know what to Google.
Shows up to us like, that's like,
Hmm?
that works, shows up.
Oh yeah, we just have MathWorks. Yeah, they're showing up. You can go to their thing and learn. Although typically they don't really like, sit there like, okay, this is use this command to do this. They'll speed run through like the overall basics because obviously they can't go over every single line that they write.
Is MathWorks the company that made MATLAB?
Yeah.
Or
MathWorks is MATLAB, Simulink, Simscape, all their little things that do different stuff.
okay.
They have actually online courses you can take for free that will give you a certificate.
On-ramp.
On-ramp, MATLAB on-ramp, Simulink on-ramp, Simscape on-ramp. They teach you how to use MATLAB. Almost every command will teach you how to use, like mini quizzes pretty much. Like, hey, write this code that does this. It'll give you like the commands, you just write them and like replace the numbers.
Okay.
And those will gives you the answers. So if you're stuck, you're like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. It literally gives you the answer that you can just copy paste and then you're like, okay, I get this and this. And usually get more complex in a subject, then it'll reset to another subject, get more complex. Although it does use a lot of calc theory, so a lot of vector matrix analysis.
I haven't touched up on that just yet.
But I mean, you can skip those sections. I mean, they're very brief. So if you're interested in doing that, they have a lot of options. Same thing with if it's like SolidWorks or Fusion, they have on ramps. I don't know what they call them.
I think I did a little bit of Fusion
Yeah.
and I have not touched up on some.
Well, if you do one, you pretty much know the other.
Oh, really?
It's just learning like where the buttons are. They sometimes call them different things. Some of them just don't have a thing, but for the most part, they're pretty. If you learn SolidWorks, you'll kind of get the gist of Fusion. Just kind of like learning where the buttons are.
That's the interface.
They did the interface pretty much. Yeah. So you don't have to like learn both, just learning one a lot. And I'd be like, okay, we kind of dabble in SolidWorks. What else do we have that might? Oh, we might have a company called something. Let's see what is it called? What did I put? Called Disco. They're a semiconductor producer. They make the chips that go into like Intel computers. They make chips. Make a whole lot of chips for a whole lot of different shenanigans. We might have them. I bring some chips and kind of go over what a mechanical engineer would do in chip design. Which is yeah, it is hard manufacturing chips, but they kind of got it down to a science that even if they mess it up, they still sell it.
What?
Did you know that? Do you know how Intel makes their chips? When they make an i9, with like all their fancy shenanigans, and the manufacturing messes up and it's like less powerful, they'll remarket it as like an i7 and disable the i9 features.
Oh,
They do that. So your i7 might be an i9 that has the i9 features disabled because the clock rate wasn't as high as they desired.
so I assume before they sell it out, they just test it and then label it, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
they test it and then they label it. Yeah, because it's like a very low success rate to get those high performing CPUs. So they mass produce them. So when it fails, they get those i7s, i3s, those shittier ones that they put in laptops, and they just disabled all the. If you're really tech savvy, you can probably re-enable them. If you're really tech savvy, you gotta be. I don't know how you do it. I'm assuming they got like some kind of firewall or some kind of thing that prevents you. I don't know. I don't know how they disable it, but I'd imagine if they can disable it, you could probably re-enable.
That would be routine.
That would be
How to re-enable chips?
that would be really complicated though.
I'd imagine, but
Yeah.
That's how they make chip. Anyway, they make chips for these companies. So if you're interested in how they make chips, how your mechanical might be related to making chips, because kind of like computer or electrical engineering, but there are some mechanical aspects. Because you have to consider how do these chips get cooled, what material science, making sure that the insides are properly positioned so the thermal cooling can be optimized.
So mechanical has to do more with just like cooling systems.
Mostly for chips. I mean, they may,
Could the design also potentially be?
yeah, where electronics are placed can also have an effect on the heat. How much, heat it produces, obviously. Less on chips, more on like obviously GPUs use a lot of mechanical, more than you think, especially when you think graphics cards. Use a lot of mechanical aspects.
That would be a cool thing to get into, though. Honestly, I was considering doing something for a computer company, something potentially, but I'm not sure yet.
I mean, you still got plenty of time, plenty of internships you can do to kind of dabble in different fields.
For the most part, I'm probably not doing one over the summer, but maybe next year.
I mean, you can still try.
Because like I have like nothing really except not even like job.
I mean, what do you got to lose? We're gonna say no. Oh no.
That's true.
Versus you might get an internship and look really good for when you get a job or when you're trying to get a more like an internship that you want more. Sometimes they'll be like, oh, yeah, that password. Or inclined to give you another one.
I think it'd have to be paid if I'm going to do an internship.
Most, I don't know. That's a cap and half.
Yeah.
Some of them are paid, some of them are not. I mean, you can do the energy auditing. I mean, that's a good opportunity with Dr. Ganji.
Does require thermal.
It does require thermal, so you can't do it, but actually,
When do you normally take thermal though? Is that what after right now? Okay, what classes do you have to take?
oh,
Sure, I think it's physics 3
Oh,
and
math.
no,
No,
no, like system, no.
I know one of the six, but I think it's another one.
yeah, that is like.
Math is quite difficult.
Oh, I know you take Calc 3 at the same time as Physics 3 typically.
Okay. I mean, I'm gonna be ahead. I'm gonna be doing differential linear equations, I believe,
Yeah.
while I'm doing physics 3.
That's right.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna be doing next year. Sciences.
If you think it'll be too much, just a reminder, I didn't know this. They do teach those classes separately as well.
Which ones?
Linear algebra is one class, differential equations is another class. There's one class for engineers that does both at the same time.
I think I can handle them all. I mean, pretty decent efficiency.
If you're pretty confident in basic calculus, you do pretty well. Because differential equations doesn't really go too deep into Calc 3. It's mostly just learning new stuff that kind of takes the general of everything and kind of applying it to it.
I took it for Calc 1. I got like 105%. Yeah.
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 Yeah. It was really easy. I don't know, like Calc 1 is just really easy.
Yeah.
Calc 2 so far I'm taking 1.
Calc 2 is prestige, that's the hardest calc, so.
It's not so bad so far. We're on partial fractions, which everyone is saying is a nightmare, but I'm just like, it's just a bunch of
Partial, if you really learn partial fractions, that'll really help you in linear.
Oh, okay.
Really help you. They use a lot of partial differentiation, partial fractions. A lot of that.
Integral and derivative.
Yeah. So you just gotta learn that, integrals, derivatives, partial derivatives. You can learn that in Calc 2. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just kind of like if you get like the general of everything, you just kind of like try to keep it up because it comes all together in linear algebra.
That's probably why it's so hard then. Or at least why people think it's so hard.
Yeah, it's complicated. It's hard to learn the differential.
It does take time, 2 week time, but if you like put the work in, like work in prior to you can go,
Yeah, it's hard. It's like hard learning curve, but once you get it, you get it.
Okay, that's always yeah.
It only gets like harder. like you'll get like more complex differential partial derivatives. It's like, oh, how do I do this? Because you get like that baby, like, oh, what's the derivative of x squared? You're like, easy. And then you get like derivative like sine, cosine squared over tangent,
Yeah, those.
cosecant. And you're like, wait, how do I do this again?
Yeah, those are super.
What's the derivative of secant? I don't forget.
You have to memorize those. I can't.
The best thing is after you finish linear algebra, you literally never use it again.
What's the?
Your professors don't really expect you to know calculus.
Oh yeah. What's the
Yeah.
point then?
It's learning the basics. You do
It
It's what-
comes up in circuits.
Yeah.
Circuits.
No, not really.
Yeah.
you learn it, you use it in circuits. It's more of like knowing how to get to like the algebraic equations.
Okay.
Because you get to like this, like, oh, like the circuit, voltage goes up in a curve. What's the voltage under it? He's like, oh, that's calculus. But then it translates in the end all the way to an algebraic formula you can use that roughly defines the system.
Okay.
But it's more about understanding the calculus. Okay, I understand. I got from point A, calculus to algebra.
That's kind of like.
It's more about understanding the process. You're not really expected to do calculus on your exams. It's more about learning,
Right.
Yeah.
It's to understand.
understand the process.
Like. Boston algebra. I saw that.
It's helpful.
Oh,
It's helpful in understanding, but I wouldn't say it's helpful in like actually doing.
Is there any like classes prior to your third year that are like?
Oh, 307 actually never mind. 307 is one of the classes that does heavily linear algebra.
Yeah.
It heavily uses it. Almost the entire class you use. But beyond that class, you don't really use it. Some of it, and like Fermo, and when you get to heat transfer, like I said, it's just like the process in getting there. It helps in understanding, like, okay, here's the heat curve. Here's how I understand heat curve to algebraic equation, but you don't really need it in the exam. You just use the equation. It's like understanding how to use the equation, what the equation represents.
Okay.
And it's just helpful in understanding the concepts, not really the actual math part.
So just understanding how you got from.
Point A to point B.
This is a fresh equation.
Yeah, if you use, yeah, especially calculus one is probably the most used one you get. It's just like I said, just getting from point A to point B. Okay? Laplace, like I said, it's only really shows up in 307.
Oh, this is.
Pause.
You'll learn that in linear algebra. It's how to convert calculus to algebraic equations and vice versa.
Is that not true? I am.
It's just changing, like, oh, I got this like integral and this derivative. How do I make this into a nice baby algebraic equation where I can just plug in my variables and get an answer?
Isn't that not just like doing the derivative of your own?
Well, it's like doing it, but you don't have to actually solve it. You don't have to do the calculus. You convert it to algebraic because it's easier, because sometimes you get double derivative or triple or quadruple, and you don't want to do that 4 times.
That's true.
You just convert it to algebraic. Okay, nice. Now it's just x to the power 4 instead of a mess. Although typically when you get to fourth derivative, just use the computer. Your professors probably tell you that. Like once you get to like the fourth derivative, it's kind of like you're not really expected to know how to do that by hand.
Yeah, I just know how to say.
Usually it's only like first or second.
Third derivative is like
Maybe second, but usually it's just only one. First, you're expected to know.
because it's like position, velocity.
Yeah.
acceleration, And then after acceleration, it's like whatever.
Acceleration, then it's what, torque, and then it's thrust.
I have no idea.
Or it's like squeeze or something. Thrust, and after that, it's something really sort of C, like cone. I don't know. The math works people were explaining it. Because he was doing the history of like 8 degrees of freedom, so like went up that high, which is super complicated and super unnecessary, but usually you only stop around like 3 or 4 degrees of freedom. As you start using it, well, use just 1 degree of freedom, and then you start using your computer. Because then it gets too complicated and too long to do by hand.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, it's fun times. Fun times.
Well, I can't wait. I'll enjoy it while it's easy.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Enjoying while it's easy, kind of.
Getting the highest GPA possible and using stuff. So I
Yeah,
can
trying
take it on.
your first year or two is probably the most important for defining your GPA.
Yeah,
Because once you get to like your third or fourth year, even your fifth year, you fail like all your classes, your GPA will go down by like 0.1, maybe like 0.2. Your GPA doesn't change much after your second year. So really defining your GPA within your first couple years really helps you stay in the higher bracket. Especially when it comes to jobs and internships. Usually they want to go 3.0 at least.
I think a lot of internships look for above the 3.5 for the most part. I don't.
Oh yeah, like internships 3.5 usually come with 3.0.
My dad told me that when he's like hiring people, he doesn't really look at their GPA. He just looks at they got their degree.
Yeah,
Yeah, when it comes to like graduating full time, you don't your GPA doesn't get looked at. The only time it gets looked at is you during your internship.
Okay, yeah.
Internships care about your GPA, jobs don't.
Jobs just care if you got.
If you got your degrees.
I guess in some extra experience.
And some experience, which would be an internship. So
experience.
or club involvement.
I could easily put this on.
I did this, because I wasn't getting internships, so I was like, I did get it. No.
Yay.
But I did it
You got
preemptively. Yeah, this might help me get that. So it's helpful. It's also a good experience and kind of like learning how to manage things, talk to people, manage events.
As for like
Emo.
shadowing the officers, do you have to like apply for that?
No, well, it's pretty much emailing us, saying us in person, like, hey, I'm interested in shadowing vice president. Then we put you in our group chat. Vice president would teach you everything they know. So you'd be prepared and then you could run for vice president against whoever else is running for it. If there's
Shadowing.
you can shadow anybody, even if there is another shadow in there. You just want to get shadowed by a non-target person. Like if you're interested in external relations, currently he's teaching somebody, so you could probably get taught by me. Because I was the old external relations. So that's what if you're interested in external.
Is there any like with no shadow? If you know.
I think me.
Yeah, I don't think vice president has one. Because I have one. Someone's trying to become president. Someone's currently shadowing the treasurer. Although treasurer is also open because he's planning on becoming the president next semester. So I'll say treasury. If you're interested in managing our money.
Probably not.
It's not really that it's pretty much filling out forms. There's a lot of form filling out. A lot of form filling out. Oh, you have to do it really fast because UCorp takes really long to approve it. It's pretty much like, hey, I need you to request pizza for an event we're doing. And you just fill out the form real quick and send it in, and it takes like 2 weeks for them to get back to you. Yeah, it's not that complicated. It's just kind of a lot of, like I said, a lot of form filling out, a lot of signatures you have to do. But it's not like a lot, but it is at least. External relations, I would say, is decently easy. It's just when it comes around career fair time, you're trying to email a lot of companies at once, and it can take a lot of time. And it's rough sometimes. But when it's like after career fair, you pretty much do nothing except occasionally reach out to companies to try to get a little weird to do something. But that's not. It's just before the career fair, it's hectic. But when it's after, it's like party, you're doing nothing really. What else do we have? Social media, you just make posters and
I'm not much of a person.
you just make posters and post them on our social media. That's all they do. Internal relations we don't really use, nor our secretary, but we used to use those when we used to have dues. People pay to be in the club.
Oh yeah. Now it's free.
Now it's free. It used to be like $5 or something.
That's fine.
It used to be like $5 and you get in. Unlimited, but not like but yeah. Any other questions or comments or stories? No, okay. Meeting is over. You can leave. If you have any other questions, I'll be sitting right over. I don't see them.
Sorry, I put the name before.
9:40. That was hard.
I mean,